Have you ever found yourself standing in the quiet corners of your home, staring at a drawer or a shelf filled with objects that no longer serve a purpose? You pick up a watch with a cracked face and hands that haven't moved in years, or a ceramic cup with a jagged chip that makes it impossible to drink from. You hold these fragments in your palm, feeling their cold, uneven weight, and you find it impossible to let them go. There is a sharp, unvoiced resistance in your chest at the very thought of the trash bin. You tell yourself that you might fix it someday, or that the part might be useful for something else, but deep down, you know that isn't the whole truth. You carry a secret sense of heaviness, wondering if these broken pieces are a reflection of your own clutter, or if you are simply clinging to a past that has already moved on without you. You are sitting on the floor of your closet late at night, the overhead light casting long, tired shadows across the room. You are surrounded by boxes of things that have lost their function. Old keys to locks you no longer own, electronics with frayed wires, and clothes with tears that you have promised to mend but never will. In this private stillness, the objects don't look like junk to you. They look like witnesses. You run your thumb over a frayed edge, and you feel a strange, protective surge of loyalty toward the damaged. You aren't being messy, you are holding a vigil. The world outside demands efficiency and the constant replacement of the old with the new, but here, in the dark, you are the only one who sees the value in what has been discarded. The world often looks at your collection of fragments and labels it as hoarding, indecisiveness, or a lack of organization. Society tells us that our value is mirrored in the pristine condition of our belongings, and that keeping broken things is a sign of a stagnant mind. They characterize your attachment as a burden, assuming that you are simply trapped by sentimentality or a fear of letting go. They are wrong. This is not a failure of logic. It is a profound strategy of the heart. When you keep a broken object, you're not failing to clean. You are refusing to agree that something loses its worth just because it has been hurt. Your attachment is a silent protest against a world that treats everything and everyone as disposable. You are not a hoarder, you are not stuck, and you are not the only one who finds a strange comfort in the fractured. You are not a person who has lost their sense of order. You are a person who has recognized that beauty does not require wholeness to be real. We invite you now to step into the soft, velvet quiet of this sanctuary. Put down the shame of your cluttered spaces and let the judgment of the world fade into the background. Welcome to Tea Psychology. In this space, we do not view your broken things as a mess to be cleared. We see them as a map of your empathy. We are not here to help you declutter. We are here to understand why your heart feels a duty to protect what is damaged. We are here to translate the language of your belongings and honor the resilience of your spirit. Your body records the history of being discarded. To understand why you keep broken things, we must look at the way the brain processes the loss of utility and the permanence of objects. Within your mind, the posterior cingulate cortex and the insula work together to assign a sense of self to the things you own. For some, the boundary between the me and the mine is porous and deep. Your history has shown that when you have experienced a lack of consistency or a sudden loss of safety, the brain seeks to freeze time through physical matter. From a perspective of survival, every object in your environment is a potential resource, but more importantly, it is an anchor. When your internal world feels fragmented, or when you have endured the pain of being overlooked, your mind begins to project its own need for care onto the objects around you. Your brain is not being irrational. It is practicing a form of externalized compassion. By refusing to throw away a broken lamp, you are telling your subconscious that even when something is no longer perfect or useful, it still deserves a place in the light. It is a way of creating a world where nothing is ever truly abandoned because you know all too well what it feels like to be left behind. Behind these layers of storage lies a history of a heart that learned to equate loss with a total disappearance of the self. To understand the scars that formed this habit of preservation, we must look at the specific moments in your life where something precious was taken away before you were ready to let it go. For many who keep broken things, the past was marked by sudden ruptures, a move that was never explained, a relationship that ended without a word, or a home that was physically or emotionally unstable. You learned that when something is gone, it stays gone, and the silence it leaves behind is a vacuum you cannot breathe in. It's recorded as a survival directive. If you can hold on to the pieces, you can prevent the finality of the end. Your body remembers the specific, cold sensation of being treated like an object that had outlived its usefulness. Perhaps you were a child who was only valued for your achievements or your compliance, and the moment you showed a crack in your resolve, you were pushed to the periphery. You endured the suffering of being replaced by a sibling, a new spouse in the family, or even a parent's new obsession. In those moments, you identified with the broken toy or the torn book. You recognized yourself in the things that were cast aside. Keeping these fragments now is a way of advocating for your own right to exist, even when you are struggling. You have experienced, endured, and tasted the bitterness of being told you are too much work or not worth the effort, and you are still going through those echoes even now. The weight of this history manifests as a deep, physical anxiety at the edge of a trash bag. You aren't just looking at an old, shattered mirror. You are looking at the evidence of a life lived. Your mind perceives the act of discarding as a betrayal. If you throw away the broken, you are agreeing with the voices from your past that said the damaged have no place. You are still navigating the fear that if you don't keep a record of everything that has happened, even the parts that hurt, you will wake up one day and find that your entire history has evaporated. Your collection of broken things is a fortress built of memories, a way of ensuring that the world can never truly erase the path you have walked. The cost of continuing this habit is a life lived in a graveyard of what used to be. Because you are pouring so much of your vital energy into the protection of the past, you find yourself with very little left for the present. Your physical space begins to mirror your internal state, a place where the air is heavy and the light struggles to reach the floor. You are living in a museum of your own pain, where every broken object is a monument to a disappointment you haven't yet processed. This creates a state of chronic, quiet exhaustion, as your mind must constantly track the location and the story of hundreds of items that no longer function. You are a guardian who is so busy protecting the ruins that you haven't noticed the new world waiting just outside the gates. The silence tells us that you are tired of being the only one who cares for the forgotten. You carry the burden of being the memory keeper for things that cannot thank you. This fragmentation of your environment is a mirror of the way you have had to split yourself to survive, keeping the useful parts of your personality on display for the world, while hiding the broken parts of your soul in the boxes under the bed. You are safe among your ruins, but you are also profoundly isolated, surrounded by objects that remind you of what was lost rather than what can still be found. The movement toward healing does not begin with a trash bag or a ruthless clearing of the shelves. It begins with the radical, quiet act of recognizing that you have been a magnificent guardian. The first psychological solution is to shift your perspective from one of clutter to one of care. You have spent years proving to yourself that you will never be the one to abandon the wounded. Now, we must begin to direct that fierce, protective loyalty inward. You do not need to fix the things you have kept. You only need to acknowledge that your desire to keep them was a beautiful, desperate attempt to keep yourself whole. When you stop judging the brokenness, the objects themselves begin to lose their heavy, magnetic pull. Integration happens when we realize that a memory does not live inside the matter. The soul of a moment is not trapped within a shattered glass or a threadbare blanket. You can begin to bridge the gap between holding on and letting go by engaging in a ritual of witnessing. Pick up one broken object today and hold it with both hands. Instead of asking, "Should I keep this?" ask yourself, "What part of me is this object trying to protect?" If that ceramic piece represents a time you felt ignored, tell yourself, "I see the pain you went through, but I am here now to care for you, and I no longer need this object to remind me of my worth." By validating the emotion behind the item, you release the item from its duty. You are teaching your mind that you are now strong enough to carry the memory without the weight of the physical fragment. We invite you to see your life not as a collection of ruins, but as a living, breathing landscape that needs room to grow. You are allowed to create space for the person you are becoming. This doesn't mean you must throw everything away tomorrow. It means you can begin to choose what earns a place in your present. Perhaps you can create a sanctuary box, a single, beautiful place where the most meaningful fragments reside, allowing the rest to return to the world. Every time you let go of an object that spent its life reminding you of a wound, you are reclaiming a breath of air for your future. You are moving from being a curator of ghosts to being the architect of your own peace. Your body records the moment the tension in your shoulders begins to dissolve. Self-love is the gentle hand that eases the grip of the past. Can you look at your collection of broken things and see them as a testament to your vast capacity for compassion? You are a person who sees value where the rest of the world sees nothing. That is a rare and precious gift. Now extend that gift to the person you see in the mirror. You are allowed to be imperfect. You are allowed to have scars. And just like the things you have kept, you do not lose your value just because you have been touched by a difficult history. You are not a project to be finished. You are a soul to be cherished. The silence tells us that you are finally ready to trust that the world will not forget you if you clear a little space on the shelf. You are a whole, profound being who has used physical things as a shield for a very long time. You are like a lighthouse that has been cluttered with old maps of the shore, yet the light at the top has never stopped shining. You are the awareness that remains when the objects are gone, and that awareness is vibrant, resilient, and deserving of a home that feels like a sanctuary rather than a storage unit. You are not the things you own. You are the love that refused to let them go. You have done so well to survive. Now, it is time to let yourself live. As you step away from this quiet space, stay close to us here. Subscribing to T Psychology is a small, conscious step toward a life that prioritizes your internal peace over your external attachments. It is a way to tell your heart that you are worthy of a space that breathes. We are here to support you as you navigate the delicate process of deciding what to keep and what to release, always remembering that you are the most valuable thing in the room. If you know someone else who is surrounded by the ghosts of broken things, someone who feels weighed down by the past, please share this sanctuary with them. Many are living in the shame of their mess, never realizing that their home is actually a cathedral of their empathy. By sharing this, you are helping them realize that they aren't failing. They are simply healing at their own pace. Leave a comment below with the word release. Let it be a soft exhaling of the breath you've been holding. We do not need you to be organized to see your beauty. We only need to know that you are starting to believe in your own worthiness. Let this be a gathering of people who are learning that they are more than the sum of their pieces. The stillness of your home is yours to inhabit now. As you move through your rooms tomorrow, don't look at the broken things with guilt. Look at them with a smile of recognition, and then look at your own hands, the hands that have held everything together for so long. The past is honored, the wounds are seen, and the future is waiting for you to make a little room for it. You are safe, you are seen, and you are finally free to choose what stays. Stay gentle with your spirit. We will be here for you in the next quiet space. Thank you for being part of T Psychology.